Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm going to be giving you guys my Copa America 2024 predictions. A couple days back, I gave you guys my Euro predictions, but that was mostly like an appetizer. This is the main course. I love the Euros, but I love the Copa America 100 times more than I love any single tournament in sports. Obviously, as you guys know, being from South America, being from Venezuela, this tournament is in my blood. I adore the Copa America, and I'm so hyped for this because this Copa America is different. Usually the Copa America, it's only CONMEBOL teams, but this time it's CONMEBOL and CONCACAF. So the winner of this tournament is really going to be the best team in all of the Americas. So I cannot wait to watch this tournament, man. Today I'm going to give you guys my prediction like we did for the Euros, for the knockout rounds, for the group stages, for everything, like the final Miami, who's going to win that. It should be really, really fun and exciting. In this video, I'm going to show a lot more passion than I did in my Euro videos because I know a lot about these teams, a lot more than I know about European teams, obviously, especially the CONMEBOL teams, because I'm a sucker for World Cup qualifying in CONMEBOL. It's the football that I enjoy watching the most. So today, I'm going to talk to you guys about all these different teams, rank them, give you guys like my predictions. It's going to be really, really fun. Whatever you guys agree or disagree with, let me know in the comment section down below. And yeah, man, let's not drag this intro any further. Let's start predicting this year's Copa America. Starting off with Group A that consists of Chile, Canada, Argentina, and Peru. This group to me is going to finish off with Argentina being first place. Obviously, you guys knew that already. No surprise about that. Argentina to me are on paper probably the best squad in this whole tournament. Obviously, are the current holders of the Copa America, are also the current holders of the World Cup. They're on great form right now. I mean, this team over the past 5 years has been insane. Messi, obviously, still, in my opinion, a top 10 player in the world. You have Angel Di Maria, who's going to be playing his last international game ever for Argentina in this tournament. So obviously, the players are going to be motivated to win that for him. The coach also, Scaloni, it might be his last game coaching Argentina as well because he might leave after this tournament. You also have Lautaro Martinez coming off a great season at Inter. You have Julian Alvarez. You have Alexis McAllister. You have Enzo Fernandez. You have Rodrigo de Paul. You have Otamendi. You have Cuti Romero. You have Di Buengo. You have Acuna. You have Molina. You have Montiel. You have all these great players. Obviously, this team is stacked with talent. And like I said, the current holders, I think Argentina should obviously be winning this group comfortably with 9 points. And to me, they're obviously going to finish first, but you guys knew that already. Second place gets a little more tricky because to me, Chile have a decent team, not a great team, but still, Chile in the Copa America has some pedigree, man. They just have some pedigree, winning the Copa America, obviously, back in 2015 and 2016, both against Argentina. And a lot of those players that were part of those teams are still here. Like Claudio Bravo is still here, Mauricio Isla is still here, Eduardo Vargas is still there, Alexis Sanchez is still getting called up. I'm pretty sure Gary Medel was on the squad before he got cut as well. So I mean, a lot of those players are still there. They still have some younger players like Marcelino Núñez and Dario Osorio, who obviously scored. They scored. Each of them scored a goal against France, actually, in the friendly that they played back in March. They have a new coach in Ricardo Gareca, who, if you guys are not familiar with him, he's the coach that actually took Peru to the World Cup the Copa America final back in 2019. So they have a good coach. Their old coach was terrible, but this coach is better. They're not doing so well in World Cup qualifying. The thing with Chile is they concede a lot of goals and they don't score a lot of goals. So I don't know, like going forward, they just don't offer a lot. Now, defensively, at times, they can get a little clumsy. Like I said, they concede a lot of goals. Not an insane amount of goals, but they tend to get a little bit too clumsy at the back. But like I said, their attack doesn't have that much firepower for me. But again, the two teams that they're competing against for second place, Canada and Peru, I mean, Peru is a mess right now, bro. They lost Gareca and they've been a mess. This is a team that made the Copa America semifinal back in 2021. They made the final, like I said, back in 2019. But since losing their coach, they've been a mess. And this team is just not good. They're doing terribly right now. They're last in CONMEBOL qualifying. So Peru, to me, is just not a great team. And with Canada, I mean, the team on paper, you have some names like Buchanan, you have guys like Alphonso Davies, you have guys like Jonathan David. What a great season, obviously, in Ligue 1. Had over 30 GA, I'm pretty sure. Jonathan Davis coming off a great year. But Canada's federation is a mess, bro. They're being coached by Jesse Marsh, who to me is a terrible coach. So I don't know. To me, I think Chile's going to finish second in this group because, again, I think they have the pedigree and just like they're just better than Canada and Peru. Again, I think Canada, if they had a little bit more structure on that team, they could definitely make a run for second. But to me, Group A is going to shape out like this. I think Argentina is going to take it with, I think, 9 points. I think Chile's going to finish second. I think Canada is going to finish third. I think Peru will finish fourth because Peru is just not a very good team right now. Next up, we have Group B that consists of Ecuador, Jamaica, Mexico, and Venezuela. The most balanced group in this whole tournament, in my opinion, the group that I'm most excited to watch. Not just because my country's in it, but I think this group is going to be really, really good. For me, Ecuador is going to finish first in this group. I think Ecuador have a really, really good team. They have their coach in Felix Sanchez, who, if you guys are not familiar with him, he's actually the guy that won the Asian Cup with Qatar a couple years back, and he's a really good coach in my opinion. They play a really, really good brand of football. They have some good players. Obviously, Estupiñán, unfortunately, will not make it to this tournament because he's injured, but you still have guys like Piero Icampi, who's coming off a great year in the Bundesliga. You still have your star man and Moises Caicedo. You still have Kendry Páez, who's a star boy coming off the bench. I mean, this team has a lot of firepower. They score a lot of goals. They just recently beat Uruguay They've only lost one game in CONMEBOL qualifying. That was to Argentina. Obviously, no shame in losing to Argentina, and that was away from home. It was in Buenos Aires, I'm pretty sure. So Ecuador, to me, have a really, really good team, and they're a dark horse in this tournament because, like I said, they have a lot of players who can do damage, especially especially Moises Caicedo, who to me is fantastic coming off a great second half of the year at Chelsea. So for me, Ecuador is going to finish first. Second place for me, it's going to come down to between Mexico and Venezuela, also known as the Homicide Bowl. Obviously, you guys know I'm from Venezuela. This is one of the best Venezuela Vinotinto teams that I've seen in my life. This team is just, it's making me regain my love for football, honestly. Like this team, watching them play is just different. Jefferson Soteldo, Jefferson Saverino, Rincon, Salomon Rondon, obviously our legend. You still have, obviously, Yangel Herrera, who's coming off a great year with Girona, who's a really, really good player. Obviously, Yangel playing still. You have Matis, who's obviously playing in Cadiz. So this team has a lot of good players. Just for context, just so like a little bit to talk about Venezuela here. From 1975 to 2004, Venezuela participated in all those Copa Americas, of course, because there's no qualifying. But if there was qualifying, we wouldn't have made it. But in all those Copa Americas, Venezuela didn't manage to win one game. They didn't manage to win a single fucking game. That's a that's a fact, by the way. 1975 to 04, 30 years, they couldn't win a single game in the Copa America. We've been the laughing stock of CONMEBOL forever, since I've been alive, obviously, and before that even. I mean, it's just been a joke, but this team is different. This team reminds me of the Copa America team in 2011. That's the best experience that I've ever had watching football, more than Barca. 2011 Copa America, Venezuela, the Copa America in Argentina, where Venezuela got out of the group in that last game against Paraguay. It was insane. But Renny Vega comes up for the corner, and we win that game after being down 3-1 in like the final 7 minutes. Then you beat Chile in the quarterfinals, Vizcarrondo scoring that header, and then you get to the semifinals and you lose to Paraguay on penalties. But that team, bro, that experience for me was amazing. I'm sorry, I'm waxing poetic about Venezuela right now, but if you guys know me, you know that's my team. But I'm really confident with the Vinotinto right now. I really think they have a really good team. I mean, beating Chile in Maturin 3-0 a couple months back, obviously getting a result against Brazil, which we've never done in our history. It's just, bro, I have a feeling about this team. Mexico, obviously, like, this team is good, but it's probably one of the worst Mexico teams that I've ever seen, at least since I've been alive. They just lost to Uruguay 4-0 in a friendly, and this team just looks completely lost. Their coach sucks. Their players, there's a reason why all these Mexican players that go to Europe end up going back to Mexico, because they're just not good enough. Obviously, you have your Strongman and Santi Jimenez, but it's just not that great of a team again. But Mexico, I mean, they're going to pack those stadiums. This tournament is taking place in North America, and we know the three fans, they pack those stadiums, whether it's in Houston or in California or in Miami or in Florida, anywhere. Like, they have fans all over the place, obviously. Venezuela, the Vinotinto fans also pack up the stadium. Don't get it twisted, but still, man, I think it's going to come down to, I think Jamaica's going to finish fourth, by the way. Leon Bailey's not going to play. Antonio's obviously a good player for them, but this team is just, on paper, they're not bad, but it's just a mess. That whole federation is a mess. I think Jamaica's going to finish fourth. And then, I don't know. Look, man, I think Venezuela will finish second in this group. I don't think we have a better team on paper than Mexico, but I think we're a better team than Mexico because, like I said, we've been on really good form for the past couple months. And for me, I think Venezuela are going to finish second. Again, it could be my bias, but this team feels different, man. I'm telling you, this team feels different. If you're a Vinotinto fan like me, you know this team feels different. There's a good collection of talent, of young talent, but also veteran leadership. Soteldo and Severino are fucking fantastic. Rondon still bagging in the goals. I mean, Rincon, obviously. I mean, it's just all we need is Juan Arango to come back from retirement and we're set to go. But yeah, this team is gonna be how Group B finishes off. Ecuador, La Vinotinto is gonna finish second. Mexico, unfortunately, are gonna go home and finish third, and then Jamaica are gonna finish fourth. I'm sorry for the Venezuela glazing. If you guys are not from Venezuela, then you're probably like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? I'm just really happy and proud of my team, so I just have to talk about them a little bit and just show how far we've come. You know, from not winning a single Copa America game for 30 years to being, you know, a dark horse. A lot of people are picking us as a dark horse in this tournament, which makes me, I'm geeking right now, bro. I don't know what to tell you guys. So for me, yeah, Venezuela's gonna finish second, and that's how Group B is gonna shape off. But again, I'm really excited to see how this group plays out because to me, it's the best group of the whole tournament, the most balanced one at least. Next up, we have Group C that consists of Uruguay, Panama, Bolivia, and the USA. This group, Uruguay is going to finish first. Uruguay are a team that I think can win this whole thing, this whole tournament. They're one of the few teams that have beat Argentina over the past 5 years. They beat them in the Bombonera 2-0 and thoroughly outplayed them. One of the few times I've ever seen Argentina get outplayed and over the stretch of like their dominance, and Uruguay did that. I mean, Marcelo Bielsa has that team playing some great football. They score goals for fun. I mean, this team scores goals for fun. And their team as a whole, I mean, you have obviously Facundo Pelistri, you have Ugarte, you have Betancourt, you have Fede Valverde, who's amazing. Obviously, you have Araujo, you have Cáceres, you have Jose Maria Jimenez, you have Darwin Núñez. I mean, this team has a lot of firepower. Obviously, like I said, with Mexico, they just beat Mexico 4-0. And every time I'm watching Uruguay play, they just keep getting better and better and better. And this team, I mean, watch out. You have, like, Fede Valverde is one of the best players in the world. Ronald Araujo, in my opinion, is one of the best defenders in the world. And this team is good. This team can win the whole thing. I think Uruguay are going to finish comfortably in first with this group. Second place, look, first of all, Bolivia is going to finish in last. Bolivia, along with Venezuela, we've been the punching bag of Conmebol for forever, and Bolivia is still the punching bag of Conmebol. They're terrible. They're not a good team. They're not playing in La Paz, so they can't do anything in this tournament. I'm sorry if you're from Bolivia. Trust me, I'm from Venezuela. I know what it feels like, but this team is just not good. They're going to finish last. I don't think they'll win a single game. Then we have Panama or USA. I think Panama has a good team, but I think USA is going to finish second in this group. I'm not confident with the USA. The USA team, in my opinion, is just not great, but you still have players who are playing in Europe, like Weston McKennie and Christian Pulisic and Tim Ream and all these different players that are playing, obviously, in Europe. You should have enough quality to get out of this group. If the USA does not get out of this group, we have to start having some serious conversations about this, like, fucking team, because that would be criminal. That would be criminal to get out of the group here. Like I said, obviously you have Weah, who's also a really good player. I mean, they have decent players. The USA has decent players, and for me, I think they should obviously Turner as well, the goalkeeper. So I think they should finish second again. Do I think they're gonna they have a chance to finish first? No, I think Uruguay is gonna comfortably finish first in this group. But the USA should be finishing second because, again, like I said, the other two teams that you're competing with, Panama and Bolivia, are just not that good. So for me, Group C is gonna shape out like this: Uruguay, USA, Panama, and Bolivia. And yeah, man, watch out for Uruguay. When we get to the knockout rounds, you're gonna see this team is really, really dangerous. And then to finish off the group stages, we have Group D that consists of Costa Rica, Brazil, Colombia, and Paraguay. Another really complicated group to predict. Colombia are a fantastic team. They're a fantastic team. There's no other way to put it. This team is scary. They are dangerous. Mojica, Davinson Sanchez, Jerry Mina, fucking James Rodriguez, fucking Luis Diaz. I mean, this team, Ospina obviously still in goal. This team is scary, bro. And they're playing some really, really good football. Some really good football. Like Colombia, like Uruguay, they have a chance to win this tournament. They're in a group with Brazil. And look, Brazil, 2023 was probably the worst year of Brazil as a national team that I've seen, at least. I mean, that year for Brazil was terrible. You're not going to have Neymar for this tournament. You're not going to have Casemiro. But you still have a good team. The back line, Wendell, Bremer, you have obviously Gabriel and Marquinhos and Militao, who's going to be called up for this tournament. Douglas Luiz, who had a great season at Aston Villa. In that midfield, you also have Paquetá, who I'm pretty sure is going to play here. I don't know, maybe I'm tripping, but I think he's going to play. I don't think the betting thing is affecting him playing here. I think Paquetá will play, obviously, in the front line. You have arguably the best player in the world in Vinicius Jr., who rarely ever shows up for Brazil, but I think he's going to show up in this tournament. You obviously have Endrick, who can play up top. You have, obviously, Rodrigo, who can play out wide as well. Rafinha, who's coming off a great year with Barca. So, obviously, when it comes to, like, is this the best generation of Brazil? Do you have the best? Do you have Marcelo and Dani Alves as the fullbacks? No, but it's still Brazil. They have a new coach. They're a better team now, and this is a team that you gotta respect. They're the greatest national team of all time. So for me, Brazil and Colombia are the two candidates to finish first. I think Brazil will end up finishing first because, again, like I said, on paper and that firepower, you just can't bet. You can't bet against guys like Vinicius Jr. and Rodrigo and even fucking Endrick if you want to throw him in there, and all those guys, Douglas Luiz, on their day. They have a really, really good team. They have a good team, and I think Brazil, they're coming into this tournament trying to, like, prove themselves. You know what I mean? Because they got knocked out in the quarterfinals of the World Cup by Croatia, obviously. You lose the Copa America to Argentina. Everybody's kind of doubting you. And I think Brazil's going to come into this tournament and say, you know what, we got to remind people that we're still the big dogs in South America. Whether I believe that or not, they are, you know, like, historically, they are the big dogs in South America. Not currently, but historically they are. And I think Brazil's going to come into this tournament with a lot of motivation. I think Colombia should finish second in this group. Like I said, they have a lot of talent, and they're playing some great football right now. When it comes to Paraguay and Costa Rica, I mean, when your best player is your goalkeeper, it's really not great. I don't even know if Keylor Navas is going to be at this tournament, but Keylor Navas being your best player is obviously not great. Costa Rica still, you know, at the World Cup, they made some noise after losing to Spain in that first game. They actually played really, really well. I don't want to disrespect Costa Rica because when it comes to international football, I mean, they're better, way better historically than my team in Venezuela. But again, Paraguay, you know, you have guys like Gustavo Gomez, who's probably the best center back in Conmebol, playing in Brazil. You have Miguel Miron, who's obviously playing at Newcastle in the Prem. Miguel Miron isn't coming off his best year, but still he's I mean, if you're playing in the Prem in England for Newcastle, you're a good player. We know that with Miron. He can have his moments. But again, for me, if I had to pick a third, it would probably be Paraguay, and then I put Costa Rica in fourth. But yeah, this is how, to me, Group D is going to shape out. I think Brazil's going to finish first. I think Colombia should finish second. I think Paraguay should finish third. I think Costa Rica will finish fourth. And yeah, I think Brazil's going to come into this tournament with a lot of motivation. I would not be shocked if Colombia finishes first. But if I have to put my money on it, which I probably will, because I'm going to bet on these games, I'd probably say Brazil finishes first here. All right, and now we're moving on to the knockout rounds. The first knockout match is Argentina versus Venezuela. It's like picking your favorite kid. I don't know who to pick here. A lot of you guys ask me if Argentina and Venezuela play each other, who are you rooting for? I'm rooting for Venezuela 100 times out of 100. I mean, Argentina, I love Messi. Once he retires, I could give a fuck about how Argentina play. I don't give a fuck. I don't care about them. Venezuela is a team that I will support for the rest of my life. Obviously, Venezuela, if you guys remember back in 2016, we had to suffer and play Argentina in the quarterfinals when we lost that game, I think 4-0. That was in Houston, if I'm not mistaken. Which obviously in the Centenario, I don't want to remember. I don't want to think about that game right now. But this game specifically, you know, man, it'd be naive for me to say that Venezuela are going to win this game. I think Argentina would win this game if they play. I think Venezuela could give them a tough, like, I think Venezuela could play them tough. But still, when it comes to Argentina, they just have too much talent on paper. I mean, it's just they're just a better team. Again, if Venezuela pull the upset, I'll be extremely happy. But this is like a can't lose situation for me. If Venezuela lose, I'll be sad, but Messi went through. And if Argentina lose, I'll be sad for Messi, but I'll be super happy that Venezuela went through. But again, if I have to be like putting my unbiased analyst hat on, because we're a serious channel here, guys. We're not doing all these. We're not being biased. We're not doing goofy takes. We take things very seriously here, as you guys know. We're putting Argentina to win that game. Then we got Ecuador versus Chile. Ecuador is going to win that game for me. They have just a better team than Chile, in my opinion. Like I said, when I talked about them, they just have a better team. And I think if they faced off, I would pick Ecuador. Then we have Uruguay, Colombia. This would be the matchup to me of the knockout rounds. Uruguay and Colombia, a rematch of the 2014 World Cup round of 16 game. Remember where James Rodriguez scored that goal, chest, that iconic goal. That's kind of funny. But anyway, this is going to be a tough game. Man, this would be a really, really good game. Who would I pick here? I think Uruguay has the firepower. I think Colombia also has a lot of good talent, though. But if I had to pick one team here, I would honestly say, because these to me are like, apart from the big two, the historical big two, Argentina and Brazil, the next two teams, if I had to put my money on one of those, if I couldn't bet on Argentina or Brazil to win the Copa America, and I had to bet on another team, it would either be Uruguay or Colombia. I think they have I think they're second, they're third and fourth for me when it comes to like the best teams in this tournament. I'm going to pick Uruguay. I think Uruguay are just on a run right now where they just look really, really good. They look really, really good, and that team is not slowing down. Like I said, the time that they have is insanely good. So I would pick Uruguay to beat Colombia, but again, I think it'd be a close game, maybe go to penalties, but I think Uruguay would go through. But I would not be shocked if they face off if Colombia goes through, but I would pick Uruguay. And then we have finally the winner of Group D, Brazil, versus the second in Group C, which is the USA. Brazil's going to win this game. The USA, I don't know, bro. That team just never convinces me. They can beat Mexico, but they just don't look good most of the time, in my opinion. So I'll pick Brazil to win that game. And that would be my quarterfinals. Let's go on to the semifinals. Semifinal one will be Argentina versus Ecuador. That would be a great game. That would be a really, really good game. Like I said, the last time Ecuador lost the game in qualifying was to Argentina 1-0. This would be a tough game. Again, for me, I'm not going to bet against Messi when it comes to international football. I would pick Argentina. I know people are going to be like, bro, you're picking all the favorites. Bro, when it comes to this, man, Argentina are just a team that barely ever loses. They just don't lose football games. They've lost like 2 games in the past 5 years. You guys realize that, right? I mean, I don't see them, like, again, could they lose this game 100%? Because on any given day, anything could happen. But again, if I had to just make a prediction right now, I would say Argentina wins this game because Argentina just, like I said, they have one of the best squads, not just in South America or in America, but in the world, bro. There's a reason why this team are the current winners of the World Cup and the current holders of the Copa America, because they are that good. And you have arguably the greatest international player of all time or performer of all time in Messi, who always shows up when it matters in the national team, especially over the stretch of dominance that they've had. And the team as a whole just has this confidence about them where they don't feel like anybody can beat them, and they should feel that way because no one has beaten them. So for me, if I had to pick, I'd say Argentina go through against Ecuador. And then if I had to pick the other one, I would probably say that, you know, just to keep it, just to be a little bit controversial, I'd say Uruguay. I think if these two teams face off, Uruguay and Brazil, I would pick Uruguay because I think Uruguay has a really good chance of winning this tournament. I think they just have a better team than Brazil. I think I like their coach better, and just as continuity, they're playing some really good football right now. And I understand that when it comes to international football, a lot of times individual quality wins out. And when it comes to individual quality, Brazil has those guys that can wreck a game in any second. Like I mentioned, Vini, Rodrigo, all those different players. But Uruguay have those players as well. Uruguay has a really, really good team, in my opinion. And I just like the way that they're coached. I like the way that they put the pressure. I think Brazil's backline can be had, especially those fullbacks. And I think that Uruguay can expose them. So for me, if I had to pick this game, I would say, like I said, I think Uruguay would win it. That's why I picked them. I would say Uruguay would win this game. I have a lot of confidence in this Uruguay team. And that would lead us to the final, which is Argentina versus Uruguay, which would be an amazing final, obviously. Who would win this one? First of all, let's do the third place game, the bronze final. Let's give it to Brazil. Fuck it. Yippee, you can win the bronze final. No one really cares about that game anyway. I don't even know why they have that game. No one really cares about it, but we'll give Brazil the bronze final. Sorry for from Ecuador. No disrespect, but I would just give it to Brazil. And then we have Argentina versus Uruguay. Okay, who would win this final? Like I said, last time Argentina lost the game, or like one of the few times Argentina have lost the game over the stretch, has been to Uruguay 2-0 in the Bombonera, in a game that they got thoroughly outplayed. Do I bet against Messi in an international final? I mean, he's lost them before, obviously. We know he's lost a lot of them before. 2014, 2015, 2016, 2007. But this is a different Messi. This is a different Argentina. But this is also a different Uruguay? Is it their golden generation like back in 2011, 2010 when they actually won the tournament in 2011 and also made the World Cup semifinal in 2010? No, that generation was insane. That generation had Godin, they had obviously Muslera, they had Forlan, they had Suarez, they had Cavani, they had Maxi Pereira. That team was just a different team. But this team has a lot of great players as well. Like I said, some of the best players in the world played for Uruguay, and they have a really, really good coach who knows how to, who just knows how to expose these low blocks and all these different defensive systems. I mean, there's not many better coaches like when coaching attacking football than Marcelo Bielsa, and we know that. But for this one, I'm not going to pick against Messi. I would say Argentina. I think Argentina go back-to-back in the Copa America. Again, it's not the flashy pick. I pick France to win the Euros. I pick Argentina to win the Copa America. Look at me, so creative. But again, guys, I'm not here to be some hot take guy and be like, oh, I think this year. Like, if I had to put my money on a team to win Copa America, I'm going to go with Argentina, who, again, like I said, have been the best national team in the world for the better part of half a decade at this point. I think Argentina are going to win Copa America, go back-to-back. Again, would I be shocked if Uruguay wins this final if it gets to that? No. Would I be shocked if Brazil make the final and win the Copa America? No. But again, my personal opinion, who I think wins this final, it's going to be Argentina. The final is going to be here in Miami, of course. So for me, I think Argentina wins it. But yeah, those are my predictions. I'm super hyped for this tournament, man. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, if you guys noticed this, I was a lot more passionate in this one than my Euro videos because I do love this tournament a lot. And I hope you guys, I hope the passion, you guys could see it through the screen because, like I said, I adore this tournament and I cannot wait for it, man. I cannot wait. There's going to be so many cool videos coming out when this tournament finally happens. Post-match reviews, all this different stuff. If you guys are excited for that, let me know in the comment section down below. I cannot wait to put that content out for you guys. And yeah, man, I appreciate you all for watching. I love every single one of you. And I will catch you guys on the next video. Peace out.